rolling. Yeah. Riverside. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. Got a few things to get into. But, you know. This is straight up, independently made up. The authenticity of an LMC on his way up. This is a layup, finger roll, let it kiss the glass. This is art from a scholar who loves skipping class. This is pen and pad, this is what I'm gifted at. This is pistol to my cap if I didn't rap. This is higher purpose, this is why I'm working. This is shooting at you clowns, homicidal circus. This is easy living, this is I'ma praise God for the fact that all my losses get to see me winning. This is the beginning, alpha to my genesis. This is a Tennessee and shit, and shout out to my nemesis. This is heaven hop, crate digging in record shops. This is let 'em watch, scholar Mr. Flex a lot. This'll never stop, and if you beg to differ, then you should get familiar with the contents of that river. Hope. I've been having dreams when I'm not asleep. I can hardly breathe on my knees, and the water's deep. I've been having dreams when I'm not asleep. I can hardly breathe on my knees, and the water's deep. I've been having dreams when I'm not asleep. I can hardly breathe on my knees, and the water's deep. I've been having dreams when I'm not asleep. I can hardly breathe on my knees, and the water's deep. This is perfect timing, intricate word alignment. That's why every verse of mine is like a verbal diamond. Every verse I mine is a verbal diamond. When the curtain rises, I'm 100% sure it's shining. Polished, to be honest, think he lost it. He ain't got it. Switch the topic, boy, I'm back. That's a promise, they need new proof too. See your scholar back ripping. They ain't think I had the juice. Now I'm trapping can of pimping. It's that Minute Maid rapping it. Interstate traveling, switching lanes in the 98 Cadillac in it. I put prayers in the wind when my prayers in. Wash away the sin, finding faith again. Rivers love to run just the same as men. For years I let my fears have me afraid to swim. I'm sowing seeds of peace down this broken stream. Life's a breeze once you learn how to control a dream. I've been having dreams when I'm not asleep. I can hardly breathe on my knees, and the water's deep. I've been having dreams when I'm not asleep. I can hardly breathe on my knees, and the water's deep. I've been having dreams when I'm not asleep.
Yo, are we live and functioning? Waiting for the cue. Green light, thumbs up.
That's a cue.
S.O.S. After a pretty solid
A hiatus.
A solid hiatus.
Right.
Which, as you can see, we're in a new location.
We were napping.
We were dormant.
Whole time.
But we're back in a new location. Well, first things first, this episode is brought to you by Rogue Energy for when you need that pick-me-up.
Right. Gaming.
Maybe you're a Knicks fan.
Gaming Gatorade.
You're sleeping. You need to get up and get ready.
A Knicks fan.
The Higher Society
Yep.
is the network. We are live on Facebook, and we're going to talk about this NBA, Twitch and YouTube as well. Let's not slight anybody.
Chicken Bones Jones.
I am Chicken Bones Jones.
Correct.
This is Sayonara Sammy, a.k.a. the Grinch from the park bench.
Right.
You know,
AKA.
We're just going to talk. And it's funny because out of all the things that have happened, the last episode we did, the playoffs hadn't begun yet.
No,
right?
they were multiple games away.
So how about this for just an asinine move? Let's start a sports podcast, but then dip when
Things
when
get
the playoffs and off season happens.
I consider it a cliffhanger. I think it was a cliffhanger.
Really was.
Right.
Really was.
Yeah, okay.
But we're back.
Right here.
Kind of wanted to wait till all the dominoes fell in that off season shuffle.
have
the
fallen.
carousel.
They
They're
have
pretty much
fallen.
falling. Kawhi made his little decision.
Right.
So we're gonna kind of go over a few things, share some thoughts. Please comment. Let me know what you think. What your team doing? Any questions, points,
Or
all
not
that.
doing.
Not doing.
Right.
If you're a Suns fan, I got no answers for you. You guys are just rocking and rolling. But
True.
yeah, we're gonna have a special guest call in here in a little bit. But let's just start things out with. We could go back as far as. Do you even want to talk about the playoffs? All that's done.
It's been run ragged.
Toronto got the
Toronto
chip.
got it done
Yeah.
for
Congrats
one
to
reason
them.
or another. One torn ligament or another, one injury or another. They got it done. They deserved it. They played hard. They
got
great
the chip.
defense.
And you know what? That window closed immediately. Yeah.
Right now, Fred VanVleet over there, like
I'm gonna hold it down.
strapping up the vest, talking about I'm gonna be the guy now.
Yeah,
You know what
talking
I'm
about I'm only a 74 in 2K.
Is Danny Green a?
He's a Laker.
No, I know he's a Laker, but is he a? Did you see his contract?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Lakers, I mean, they just stalled out to where they kind of just were like, well, now that we have this abundance of cash and it really limited resources, who do you pay that money to at the point where they had to be like,
but he's
right.
58 speed in 2K, bro. I just can't get over it.
Nah, he's a good vet.
Nah, I'm with you, but that's a lot of money in for 3 years.
2, yeah.
I thought it was trees of them.
15 a year.
Did they keep Kentavious Caldwell Pope?
He's brought back as
That's
well.
a big move for them, I think.
No, he's really been
right, but I think now he's about to be really been the opposite of what you were about to say.
I mean, I've always liked the kid. He just
Yeah. Well, I think he's about to really.
I'll tell you this: with this current contract he just got signed to, by the year 2022, he will have accrued $44 million from the Lakers. So his production should go up a little bit to match that. But
obviously the big PG trade, the Clippers sold their soul for PG.
That was a two-sided coin. They had to do that for both players,
as opposed to the one-sided coins that you sometimes come across.
Well, it's not. They didn't just trade that for PG. They traded that to have a title contender. Because if they don't find a way to bring PG in, you don't get Kawhi. He's in Toronto or wherever.
You think that's true?
He was never going to the Lakers. That's one thing I feel like I knew or I said.
You think if they don't trade Paul George, or if the Clippers don't get PG, that Kawhi's not signing there?
Oh, 100%. That's
so
what he was waiting on.
You think he 100% knew that was going to happen?
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it real close? Wasn't it like just a couple hours away in the reporting of it?
Well, I mean, he was waiting on that. That's what the delay was because, reports came out that he recruited KD. He hit up KD personally and was like, hey, bro, how about we go to the Clippers? And, what I'm saying? I mean, KD weighed his options. He was feeling Brooklyn. Is what it is.
Right.
But he moved to, his next Robin, which I love it. I personally love that. And here's a point I'm gonna make early. And this is one of my favorite things about what this offseason said was that these huge markets, these massive markets, they're not winning off of the surface value. You're not going to the Knicks. So like, okay, this New York has the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Knicks, LA, Lakers, Clippers. Obviously, the Clippers and Brooklyn pulled a major power move. And what that tells me is that with all the information that's out there, dude, the infrastructure of these franchises, of these organizations, that has consequences. Like the reason why you don't want to play for the Knicks, right? What the fuck is going on over there? You know what I mean? Like the reason why you don't want to play for the Lakers is what the hell's going on over there? It's messy. It's ugly. You know what I'm saying? Whereas opposed to the Clippers, Steve Ballmer starts at the top. Steve Ballmer, Jerry West, Doc Rivers, the whole establishment is solid.
Right, of course.
And the players there. See, we had a podcast where we talked about the most interesting team going into free agency. I said the Clippers because of that, because they have Montrezl Harrell, Landry Shamet, at the time SGA, and who am I missing? Lou Williams. And none of those guys, all those guys were on very, very like team-friendly contracts.
Shout out to Patrick Beverly.
Patty Bev, well, he was coming up as a free agent, but they had all these pieces, and then they had this infrastructure that was so great. They got this. They kind of feel like a team that is ready for a dynasty, and I love that combo of Kawhi and PG. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this as a Bulls fan. If you go by what history told us with Jordan, with the Bulls in the 90s, that might be the closest model to that of any team in the sense that, what the Bulls did, they had two of the top wings in the game. Obviously, Jordan, we're not comparing anyone to Jordan. We're not comparing whatever. But these two-way players, the Greyhounds, that's what they call them. They get out there, they run the floor, defense, both capable, almost interchangeable in a lot of ways. And I think that PG Kawhi thing's finna be, I like it a lot. So are they your title favorites? Because Vegas got them right now, number one. Put these headphones on.
You know what? That 76ers team looks good on in a lot of ways, but I also think that that Celtics team is good. I think Kemba. This is weird. This might be. I think Kemba is better for that team.
Yeah, I do too.
Kyrie was.
I think a lot of people are better for that team than Kyrie. That Kyrie thing was like a toxic relationship, man. It just seemed like it was like.
It seems like he has that everywhere almost.
Like if
honestly.
that Boston Celtics team was a relationship, they would have subliminal Facebook posts every 2 days about how, oh, I guess loyalty ain't shit. You know, they'd just be talking to each other. It was just ugly, man.
Yeah.
It was ugly, the dysfunction.
Yeah.
The way he handled it, you know, it was just nothing good about that.
Well, I also, you know, it's hard to push away the Lakers, right? Just because you do have LeBron, you got A-Day, and you got Rondo, and you got Boogie. You know, if a guy comes into his form again, you talk about putting Boogie and A-Day with Bron.
I'm gonna push him away. I don't think they're the second. They got him as the second title favorite. I'm pushing that away. I don't. I actually throughout this course of the season, I'm rocking with Utah.
Bro, has Bron ever had that kind of talent around him? I mean, I know he had Wade and Bosh, right? I'm with you, but as far as like the big men to move the ball to, like A-Day and Boogie cutting around, moving around, and LeBron
he's
finding them.
Anthony Davis is the best teammate he's ever had as far as just ability. And I love Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade's a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But Anthony Davis is something special. Like, I put it to you this way. If they would have got Kawhi Leonard in my book, that's 3 of the top 5 players in the league.
In most people's books.
Yeah, some go a little further. Some act like LeBron either fell like down to like or AD, whoever. But also when you look at the way LeBron's teams, the way he's built them, not the way the GM's built them, the way LeBron has built these teams, it's a big man who's often kind of left out to dry. And obviously just with Bosh and Kevin Love, both of them had a interesting digression.
Both of them, both those guys had to play their role the way they played it. Because how many times did Chris Bosh bail out the Miami Heat? You know what I'm saying? With huge shots. Kevin Love bailed out the Cavaliers with a lot of huge shots. They just got to become more of, you know, like, okay, I'm not going to see the ball as many times as I did when I was the guy in Minnesota or Toronto, respectively, for those two dudes. But they were still huge for the team. You know, I mean, so I don't think anybody's going to get left out.
Yeah, I mean, well, if I'm LeBron, I'm looking at Anthony Davis saying, "It's your team, brother." You know what I'm saying? I'll take the Magic Johnson role. I'll facilitate. I'll bring this up. I'll step up when I need to. But he's the best player on that team, given the ages and where they're at and all that. But I just don't like. I mean, to say if Boogie returns to form is wild because I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen. You know, I'm rooting for him.
But why?
Well, first things first.
He was out of shape. He hadn't played like any games.
Yeah, but who gets that Achilles injury and is that big and comes back? I mean, it's just he just doesn't look like he has his legs. And yeah, he didn't really get a chance to play.
Right. That's a big part of it, especially as a guy that's that big. He looked a little heavy too.
Yeah, no, he was heavy, he was out of shape. He was struggling. 14 minutes in on the floor, you
gotta answer the question. Even he doesn't have to be the big dog Boog Coog from, you know, Sacramento or his Pelican days or whatever, you know, because you know, they got Anthony Davis too, and they got LeBron too. So it's like he ain't got to be that guy. Just imagine having Davis and Boogie in the same. I mean, they've already done that. They've already done that, except no Bron. And that team was actually pretty good. They weren't healthy a lot together.
I mean, yeah, they swept Portland, which, you know, at the time it was just kind of like a foregone conclusion. After
that was without Boogie, though.
Yeah, I mean, but the team, they practically are New Orleans from that.
Yeah, it was Rondo, and Rondo averaged the most assists of his career playing with those two.
Yeah, but I'm not in on the Lakers like that.
Go ahead and give me where are they at in the West? Season's over tomorrow.
I mean, they're up there. They're up there. I mean, three. You know, 3 is fair. I just like what Utah.
Who at 1 and 2?
Utah. I like Utah. I'm one of those. I mean, that's something that's not even worth saying because it's such a every sports writer that works close to ESPN or Fox Sports has said, don't sleep on Utah. You know, that's like the hot, sexy thing to say is Utah.
Right.
But I do really like. It feels like
they have a lot
every year, or especially these last 2 years. You know, You got your big man in the middle, and then you got Donovan Mitchell, and then you got some good pieces like Ingles and so on and so forth. But I think what Conley's going to bring to that team and what he's going to bring to Donovan Mitchell as a player and just as a vet for him,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not knocking Rubio because everything I've heard about him is he's a great guy to learn from.
But he's not as good as Michael Conley.
Yeah, Michael Conley is so crafty, and I feel like Donovan Mitchell's just going to kind of get like a
extra step from him.
Yeah,
you watch a guy who's plays more like you. Rubio plays nothing like Donovan Mitchell. I mean, granted, Michael Conley doesn't play like Donovan Mitchell because he's not, the big athlete, explosive, whatever. But
they made a lot of little subtle moves that I like too.
I think they're like Denver to me though.
See, that's another one. I like Denver too.
And you should, but I think Denver and Utah are the similar teams. I think they're kind of the same
too. They hate each other.
Yeah, they're kind of the same. They're on the same stride right now, where they got a lot of talent, a lot of good pieces all throughout the roster. The Denver lost somebody though that I thought made them a little worse, but I can't remember who it was.
I don't know, but I tell you what, you want to talk about some sad shit. The Michael Porter thing doesn't look like. I mean, another injury.
He got hurt. I didn't even see it.
Yeah, he's gonna miss the summer league, but it just looks like a really unfortunate. As a Bulls fan, we know that well. When it just looks like a guy, it's never gonna kind of be consistent. And I mean, one of the most interesting things that could happen. This is the thing that kind of makes me that I was kind of hyped for is. Who knows what Washington's going to do because they just operate different.
Right.
But if Bradley Beal is in play, which has kind of been a hot talking point for 13 months now, a month more than a year, if you would say so. But if Denver could somehow swing a bunch of those good assets because they're loaded with assets, if they could somehow throw Bradley Beal with Murray and Jokic and Millsap, just that having
they'd have to give up. They'd have to give up Murray, I think, to get Beal.
I don't know, man, because
Gary Harris would definitely be in that trade.
Yeah, you want to get rid of him because they occupy the same space.
But Gary Harris would have to be in that trade. Will Barton's already gone. You think Michael Porter would have to be in that trade.
Yeah, Porter's a big part of it. With that, if he would have came out and had a summer league where he was like, yeah, the big dog's here.
But then you would be scared to trade him, too.
I think they'd still pull it. Because I just think what Bradley Beal would look like in that team, in that system.
The Lakers should turn around and pull a swoop-de-swoop and trade Boogie and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and something else and get Bradley Beal.
Yeah, bro, that's not happening.
Nobody's biting on that. You put John Wall with Boog, there you
John Wall's never going to play again, bro. That's a weird situation.
Yeah, it's strange.
They said he probably won't play this year. And yeah, he's getting paid though, so he's getting $40 million.
They gotta have some sort of you're not playing clause.
No, there's none of those, bro.
What happens with I got a name? What happens with a guy like Steven Adams if OKC is just selling shop? First of all, Russell Westbrook. When you look around the league, I don't see anywhere he really could even logically go outside of Miami. And there was another one, but there was like two teams, and everybody else I was like, man, I don't really see where you could play here. You know what I'm saying? Like, staying in OKC.
Nah, I mean, I think that chapter's closed. I think finding a trade, obviously with the haul they just got for Paul George.
They're in rebuild mode.
That much draft capital, and you got a really good point guard who I love. I love SGA. I think he's going to be a tremendous player. But the thing about Westbrook is I got a long-standing I've always been conflicted with Westbrook because he's one of those players. He's not similar to Carmelo, but the way I felt about Carmelo was he's never going to win a ring as the lead guy, and if he doesn't change his mentality, he's never going to win. And I felt that way about Westbrook since the dysfunction with KD, watching the games. When Scott Brooks was the coach, the offense was a mess itself. But just watching the way he moves and decisions, and look, let's put it this way: who's the worst guy to play pickup ball with? You're at the rec. The guy with tunnel vision, bro. The guy with tunnel vision who thinks he's Kobe, who's just like he's just.
But I mean, at least he is. Russell Westbrook is the type of guy that can score at that type of level.
Yeah, but Westbrook is a top 10 player in the league. Yeah. He's a tremendous basketball player, but there's so much more to winning than just being a really good basketball player.
I'm with you. The interesting fit for him, I know it's not going to happen, but an interesting fit for him would be if the Spurs made a trade for him and he got to go under Popovich, because you'd have him, maybe him, DeMar, and Aldridge or something like that. That'd just be whatever. I mean, there could be interest right there when you talk about some of their young guys they got in San Antonio. So, I mean,
the thing that Westbrook makes, like what you said with the Spurs, we've never seen him have to surrender the kind of control that Pop would demand. You know what I'm saying?
Like to see what Westbrook could become with that.
Yeah, in a system and in a structure where someone could kind of pull in the reins on. And maybe, he's 30 years old, several knee injuries, Father Time's already winning that battle. He might be the most competitive guy in the league. That's what people love about him. That's what I love about him. Yeah. I love the fact he's a dog. He's 100 mile per hour. But it's those late game situations. The game is always decided in the last 2 minutes of that fourth quarter. And in those situations, I don't want Westbrook with the ball for my team. And he's a great player. He's a great, phenomenal player. But with all that being said, I do think Miami, I think Pat Riley's just in a place where he's just like, hey, bro, like, let's just fucking throw something at the wall, see if it sticks. Jimmy got his way there.
Yeah, I don't love the Jimmy Russ. I think he'd look better for his chances at a title if he was a Spur. That's why I think it'd be cool if he went there.
The Spurs are kind of in a weird spot too, man, because I don't know.
But team, though, Aldridge and DeRozan and him, that's not a bad grouping when you talk about the fact that the Warriors are gone.
The Spurs are always going to be competitive with Pop and with the infrastructure they got. And quietly, I really like the Marcus Morris signing. He fits good.
He's a Spur.
Yeah,
that's nice. Rudy Gay's still there.
They got a lot of Mars, bro. I saw this on something on social media. But LaMarcus, Marco Bellinelli, Marcus Morris,
LaMarcus Aldridge,
They got a lot of Marcuses, bro. Mar. They got an MAR thing going. So that doesn't work out for Westbrook because he doesn't have a Mar. But
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. So. That I don't know. I just don't. I like Utah. I like what Utah's gonna bring. I like the fact they have a tremendous coach who's been there, consistency, and they all know how they play. They have an identity. They just got to get it done in the playoffs, which they haven't. But, as far as the East goes, who's that quiet team I'm looking at is the Pacers, man.
I think it's them Bulls. That's I think the quiet team you're looking at is.
We already know how we feel. That's my hot take. Bulls make the playoffs. Zach LaVine makes All-Star game.
I don't think it's even a hot take.
That's a cold-ass take, isn't it?
I think
it's pretty much a done deal.
I think the Bulls, healthy, are the 6th seed.
Hey, big dreams, guy. I'm with you,
I think we're the 3rd seed.
Fuck it. Why not that 1 seed, bro? Why not that number 1 seed?
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I think the Pacers really got a nice, between T.J. Warren, which was the first move pretty much other than Conley to happen. I like the fact they got T.J. Warren.
Yeah, and they got Brogdon.
Which, man, when you want to talk about this, that's such a fucking good backcourt. I love that backcourt, okay? When you talk about where the game is at right now, it's a lot of positionless talk. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of multiple ball handlers.
Brogdon and Victor.
And then defensively.
Brogdon and Victor.
They're going to get after it, right? And, Malcolm Brogdon is such a good player, dude. Yeah. Some people were talking about how much he got paid, and it was, like, crazy. I don't know, man.
All he's shown is value,
efficiency.
Yeah,
he has that word down to a T. Yeah. And defensively, and just a high character guy who every coach who's ever had him from his time in Virginia, from high school, every coach had nothing but good things to say about Malcolm Brogdon.
And that's a team that's got good coaching too, is the Virginia. Their men's basketball team's always.
Yeah, Tony Bennett over there. They seem to produce a lot of high character guys, which. DeAndre Hunter this year coming out. We'll see how he does. But what do you think? So who's more likely to make the playoffs this year? The Orlando Magic, which pretty much stayed put as far as what they did in the offseason. They signed Vooch, which is kind of weird considering the Mo Bamba draft pick from last year. But who are we kidding? It's Orlando. So
who's their point guard?
Last year was Augustine,
Okay, so Russell Westbrook, we're talking about somewhere else he could fit?
Yeah, no, that's definitely a spot that people have said, but everyone's like, dude, Russell's not going to agree to that. Because Russell's going to be in on the trade.
But it's cool. It's him, it's Vooch. They'd probably have to send Gordon back or something, but it's him, it's Vooch.
They signed Terrence Ross. They re-signed Ross. But who's more likely to make the playoffs, the Hawks or the Magic? The young Hawks with all those shooters.
The Hawks. I say the Hawks make the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that.
I mean, I'll say they're more likely because the Bulls are going to be 5th through 8th seed.
Yeah. You got any summer league action yet?
I was curious if the Bulls won the. I mean, I saw Zion play. I saw
He's
RJ
out,
play.
man.
Yeah, I mean, he looked fine on the bench. Just jaying around.
Super safe mode.
But I mean, he looked really bad when I seen him, honestly. And then I seen some highlights of some Zion shit he did, and I was like, oh man, yeah, he gonna do that. But I mean, he got blocked a few times. He looked like I question how much he can really create his own offense. Without especially taking people off the dribble and stuff like that. The NBA level, I do question that, but I think he's just so talented that he's going to be an effective player.
He's just such a force, man.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, so like Enes Kanter, who's just known to just kind of.
He's a Celtic.
He'll say things. He said a lot of things in his time in the league. Yeah. From going head up with LeBron.
He's been on Twitter beefs.
Yeah, he's got a loud mouth, and he comes out on I think Cowherd's show, and he says. Zion, he's overhyped. He said he's Julius Randle with hops.
And then Julius is like, I put up 52 on you or something like that, 42 on you.
Did he respond and say that?
Yeah, Julius Randle said, I put up 42 last time you guarded me, clown, or something like that with the clown face.
Yeah, because Enes Kanter's just loud. Bro. Yeah. But, so I mean, look, Zion is not – he looked I wish I could stand next to him to see his height, right? Because there's a lot of guys who come into the league.
6'7".
Yeah, there's a lot of guys who come into the league with a reported height, and then when you see him next to other guys, if you go live, you're just like, oh, he's not
I think he's 6'6", 6'7".
I think 6'6", because he just looks. I don't know, man. I really hope to catch him live this year.
He's not that tall, bro. I saw him standing next to.
I want to see him stand next to Draymond and see. Yeah, because I feel like they're gonna be like right there at the same.
I think Draymond would be a little taller than him.
I mean, who knows? We'll see it at some point.
Yeah,
but
true.
But Zion, dude, he's just. I mean,
he's like in there like this,
bro. He's a football body, man.
Imagine if he was a linebacker or something. He would have been
trouble.
Yeah.
Defensive end, bro. Calais Campbell. He'd make him look.
Problem,
he'd be in his. Yeah. Obviously not with them fucking pythons Calais got, but he's a force of nature, man. And he was fun. It was fun to watch him. Just those few, what did he play, like 16 minutes or something. But it was fun to watch him get in. It was a little chippy. Kevin Knox and those guys on the Knicks. See, that's the thing. That Knicks summer league roster, that was a really good team for him to start out against because they got a lot of. I mean, they're like projected to win the whole thing because they got a lot of second-year guys. Yeah. They got a lot of NBA players on that team.
They had Knox, and they had Barrett, and they had Trier, who was big for them.
And
Mitchell Robinson, yeah.
So they came out and they went. I mean, Zion. I mean, he caught.
Did the Bulls win tonight?
We left before the game ended, but that was a good. So he was in some chippy altercation. It was an NBA competition. You got to feel it. We got to see him in it. And man, when he's gonna have all the highlight moments that people think he's gonna have.
Yeah, for sure.
But I do agree he's gonna have a good learning curve.
Yeah, because
how to use his body.
Yeah,
he needs to get in better shape to run the floor for 82 games. Okay, let me switch this topic real quick because this is something I like. The NBA compared to the NFL, compared to the MLB, NHL. They always feel like, to me, the most progressive league in the sense of they're always looking to innovate. They're always looking to be at the front of movements. Even like weirdo shit like fucking changing the owners to governors. That's just whatever. But right. As far as systematically in the way the league operates,
right.
I think my theory is that what Adam Silver is going to do.
What's he going to do, bro?
He's pretty much going to model this league after like European soccer, the way that they function there. I think he's going to shorten. There's talks about a shortened season, which I'm all for. Yeah. The season is too long. How boring was that last 2 months, 3 months after the All-Star game? How boring was that? It's just 82 games is too much.
In my opinion, every single professional season is too long outside of football season, which they should take off at least 2 preseason games just for the.
Yeah.
If not for any reason to keep them, the only reason maybe the last 2 preseason games, just for the guys who are never actually going to play an NFL game, at least get their little moment of, I worked really hard to do this. I'm in an NFL game, quote unquote. Those guys deserve that. But it's a lot, bro.
So
it's a lot.
Adam Silver has hinted at, he's brought up shortening the season, and he's brought up adding an incentivized tournament
in the middle
mid-season,
of the season. I've seen that, and then an actual tournament involving more teams at the end of the year.
Yeah, like a play-in style. But I think a lot of people are for shortening the season. I've heard a lot of negative feedback on the whole tournament mid-season, which is 100% European soccer. I mean, just soccer in general. That's what they do. They always have, the different cups in the middle, blah, blah, blah. I don't know all the facts. But
right.
I think those soccer teams probably play like the Premier League. They probably play like 40-something games, and then they have the cup in the middle. So I think the NBA going to like 62 games.
I say 64 games.
That's weird, but I'm with you. We're in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
The big question is how would they make the tournament interesting? And I feel like that's way more doable than people are acting, because okay, look, you know what would be fun to watch in an NBA? All these guys are competitive. You have to be competitive to get to that point. We never get to see one and done basketball. Mm-hmm. If we get to a game 7, we get to see it. Right. But a one and done, that would
1 to 18, 1 to 16, whatever tournament, just like the college shit would be great. Would be cool with that with the pros.
Yeah, and you win whatever they call it, the Silver Cup or whatever they want to call it. I think you can add, like, there can be a financial incentive or something. You can make that interesting, but shorten that fucking season.
Shorten it. There should still be the NBA playoffs at the end of the year, the same way they are, but mid-season, there should be a bracketized 1 through 16 one-game elimination tournament.
I think first round, best of 5. That was the only thing I would change.
Oh, in the playoffs. Yes,
because that's a yawn more often than not.
Yeah, more.
And
if
you're not going to win a best of 5, you're not going to win a title. That's just how basketball works.
Yeah, for sure. I'm cool with that. That could be a last adjustment. That'd be fire.
See, but then the thing that makes it so difficult is the greed. Because all the owners are seeing when you talk about a reduction in games is a loss of revenue. You think about the implications for the cities, the United Center, the Bulls. They booked that for 41 nights. That's a big thing, So that there's a lot of moving parts to shortening the season. But I think the quality of the product would be upgraded. I think the players. I mean, Kawhi played 60-something games this year with his resting and doing all that. So, I mean, it's already kind of there. And another thing that I feel like the European soccer model is looking like with the power that the player has right now is they're just transferring, dude. They're just like, I want to be here. And then it's like, oh, well, you're under contract. And the guy's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'd rather be there. And then you're kind of handcuffed.
Yeah, you're like, all right.
AD just sits and he's like, yeah, I mean, so I'm not going to play, so let's
wrap this up.
Yeah, and then I mean, who knows? Maybe the owners really are worried about that, and maybe we see like a potential lockout or some kind of
owners strike.
Yeah, I mean they don't. There's no way they like that. There's no way they like that. But
yeah.
So I tell you what, let's see what HD. We got HD calling in. To talk, one thing about my man HD, he's a diehard Knicks fan, so this is just a tough.
He's dying hard right now.
Tough transition, right?
He's dying hard right now.
But I can't wait to talk to him because I don't think.
But there's positives.
Yeah. I see.
No, don't get me wrong. There's positives. Yeah. You can't have that many early picks and not have a couple positives.
Yeah.
But things didn't go at all.
No, 100%. Plan B didn't come through.
No,
plan C didn't come through.
They're on plan E right now, like as far as our free agency moves.
Yeah, so let's see what my man has to say in this matter.
Yo,
what's going on, man?
Stizzle, what's up?
How you guys doing, man? I'm ready to talk some sports, some NBA.
Okay.
Good, man. How you doing? How you nursing the wounds from the Knicks off season?
Well, see, I'm kind of numb to it now. Like it's it's sort of refreshing to know that we didn't make any wrong moves, and we still didn't get anything. Like for once, I'm used to just overpaying Jared Jeffries and Eddie Curry, and we didn't do that, and nothing good happened.
Y'all could have easily paid Terry Rozier $50-something million for 3 years.
You didn't do that, and that's a good move.
Oh yeah, I mean, 3 years, $58 million. I mean, Michael Jordan is not. He's clearly showing that he's just not trying to win at all.
He's just why can't y'all do what I did, man?
Yeah, I mean, is he looking for the next him? Is he looking for the next MJ?
Yo, who was the other big that I'm missing? Yo, let me shoot some names at you and just say yes or no. Just real harsh. Julius Randle. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I love Julius Randle. Randle is
so
a
yes,
dog.
so yes. Okay, Taj Gibson.
He's old, so I would say no. I'm good on Taj Gibson.
Okay,
he's a veteran,
right.
But
and as us as Bulls fans, we got the softest spot in our hearts for Taj.
Hey, Taj, one of my top five.
But
Taj, one of my top players of all time.
Yeah, no, that's my guy, man.
But I mean,
they did
you
give
had
him some money.
He was at his best, so.
Right, they did give him some money. Who was the other big? I'm forgetting. Bobby Portis, another former Bull.
Yeah.
I like him because Bobby Portis is one of those people that just hasn't really gotten a chance yet. I mean, and he's he clearly shows that he don't care who you are. He will punch you in the mouth.
Yeah. So, he'll punch you all the way back to Europe, dog.
Yeah, they just bounce out knock your beard off, bro. Literally.
You know what? But let me tell you about them two guys because, like Brett said, we're diehard Bulls fans, so we have all the feedback you could want. What you're getting with Taji, bro, is like you said, a vet, one of the model players that you would ever want in your locker room in terms of the practice routines, in terms of what he'll bring to Julius Randle, to Mitchell Robinson, to all those guys, Dennis Smith, all the young guys you got.
Love Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, Mitch is great. But he and he's New York as fuck, bro. I mean, this dude just got the key to Brooklyn.
He's perfect for the system, and we don't really expect much from him. You know what I'm saying? So,
and it's not like you're just looking for that extra few dollars he's making is really gonna swing things, you know what I'm saying, one way or another.
I mean, we're definitely not used to. I mean, we're definitely used to giving people too much money. So when we give the people the right amount of money, I'm okay with it.
And I think you're gonna love Bobby Portis, man. I think you'll love him when you get to see him out there because he is a dog and he's
he
he's
can do
fun.
a lot of things, man. When he's feeling it too, he's a lights out scorer.
He can fill it up.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like he's one of those players that just needs that chance, needs that opportunity to get 25, 30 minutes a game, and we're gonna be able to really see what he can do.
Stay on the court.
When he didn't really get a fair shot with the Wizards, and I think after the whole practice thing, the Bulls, it was a little salty. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of a weird atmosphere.
Yeah. But I feel like Bobby Portis is gonna have. It might not be with the Knicks, but he'll be a very good front court player for a contender at some point in his career, and he'll have a good 14 seasons in the league. He'll hang around.
Yeah. I mean, hey, so for the Knicks, I mean, we won 17 games last year, so.
Yeah.
Let's
get to 18.
Definitely be better than that.
He'll give you that 18.
Get to 18.
So I know that you're kind of skeptical on R.J. Barrett, man. How you feeling after a couple summer league? Where you at with him?
Well, I think that it's just so funny to me how I'm hearing people say that he might be the best player in this draft, and I've heard blasphemy before, but not like that.
Yeah.
I think R.J. Barrett's going to be a bust. Like a big bust. I mean, top 3 player or top 3 in the draft.
Right. And the funny thing about R.J. Barrett is, me and Bro went head to head about that. Just a discussion early in that first game after Duke. I said I watched him, and I said and it was funny because I told him, I said, you know what, I watched this game last night, man, and he assumed, I guess, that I was gonna say I liked R.J. Barrett, but I immediately was like, man, I think that dude's trash. When I watched him play,
what does he do?
I thought he was trash.
He just shoots.
then I started to like a little bit of his game. Then I was like, nah, yeah, he trash. And here's where I'm at with him. When I look at everything he can do, I assume that he's gonna be a good player. I don't know if I'd say he's just gonna be a bust, but I also can see where I don't like things about his game. But these guys are so young, and they got much time to develop. It's
so
crazy.
Many convictions on him now.
Yeah. I mean, what is he? 19? His body isn't even done growing.
But I'm just thinking of what we think a top 3 player is supposed to be. If you get picked top 3 in the draft, I expect you to change my franchise.
That's true.
So
it's a bust if not.
That's Like, and that's I will never expect that from him. You know, and then you think, usually in the top 3 picks, somebody's going to be a bust. If not, you know, if not 2 players, definitely at least 1. And I'm sure nobody sees Zion as a bust, and I'm sure nobody sees John Morant as a bust. So that leaves RJ Barrett.
Statistically, one of these guys got to give. You know, but when you say bust, do you mean like you think he's going to be in and right out the league, or you mean bust like he's just not going to be the guy to change the franchise?
So for me, a bust is like I just don't think if you don't live up to where you were drafted, to me that's a bust. Now there's obviously levels to it.
Right.
I think for to be a Knicks fan and to like expect someone to expect any player ever to come to our franchise and change and turn it around, I think that's ridiculous because we've never seen that for the Knicks. So but I also don't want people to fall in love with like mediocrity and like whatever he does is good enough for us. So like, you know, he's one of those players that if you know, I mean, like he went 4 for 18 in his first summer league game.
Yeah, I watched.
You know
I watched a lot of that game. I didn't think he looked great,
like at all. You know what I'm saying? Like there was nothing good that I saw. Like he's never shown me anything where I was like, yo, this dude's gonna be a baller. You know, even when you know, in Duke when Zion got hurt.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Yeah.
Like they said he's supposed to be the shooter of the two. He shoots 31% from the 3-point line, and Zion shoots 34% in college. So it's like
that's not a good.
You know what I'm saying? Like what part of shooting? You know, he can. I mean, he's mellow. Like he just shoots. He just shoots.
Well, hey, I'm gonna bring some spice to your front door. I'm not gonna put money on this with you, but I'm definitely gonna keep up with you as years go by, and we'll talk about it.
All right.
RJ Barrett is gonna make more than one All-Star game.
Wow.
More than one.
He's gonna make more than one All-Star game, bro. And we'll see as time goes on.
If you're an All-Star, no matter where you were picked, you're not a bust, in my opinion.
Of course.
If you're an All-Star,
I agree with that.
Yeah, of course.
I can agree with that. If you ever get to be an All-Star, you're not a bust.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at bust. It's like Anthony Bennett. That's
colossal.
That's the bust.
I don't even look at Greg Oden as a bust because injury is its own thing.
Yeah, but the
thing is though, Greg Oden came into the league injury prone.
Yeah,
so
already.
for him to even still be picked that high.
Yeah, but that was a mental bust by Portland more than it was a player was a bust.
I'll put it like this, man. The Bulls took we take Tyrese Thomas. He was like
over LaMarcus Aldridge.
No, we traded. We swapped him.
Yeah. So what pick was that? That was like
I think
4 or 5.
I think 5. Yeah.
It
we
was something in the top 6.
They picked 7th or whatever for LaMarcus.
It was 2 for 4. The second pick for the 4th pick.
Yeah, and I don't even call him a bust. He just wasn't. He didn't pan out like to be the player that we thought he was. He still had some good moments.
Tyrese Thomas is a colossal bust. That's ridiculous.
I think he was also a bust.
Well, I mean, I guess the way I look at it is, do you get production out of the player? I mean, no one was like Tyrese is gonna be KG. It was like a defensive guy who was a high energy guy who came. But
that's an early pick, and then you even think about the swap with Aldridge. That's a real low blow because Aldridge was
clean. Do you think that you draft for need, or do you draft for like who like were they just because I mean it depends. LaMarcus Aldridge and was like, we think Tyrese Thomas is going to be better, so we're going to trade for Tyrese Thomas.
No, I mean the whole drafting for need versus best player it's more about, to me, the position your franchise is in, because I think it can change. You know, if you're if you're the Bulls this year, I mean, obviously we kind of did both, in my opinion. We took a point guard, which was a position of need, but I also feel like Kobe White. I'm high on him. I like him.
I think he was the best player at the time.
Yeah, I thought Culver was going to fall to us, man. Didn't you think that was kind of weird the way the Garland, Cleveland getting Garland, and then Minnesota trading up, which to me, when that happened, I was like 100%. I was like, oh, they're going Kobe White, so we're going to get, Culver. But I thought it was pretty weird. I think Cleveland's kind of like a messy situation. I don't know what they're going for, but
because they love Sexton.
Would you be able to put Culver at the 3?
I mean, in today's game, it'd be more about who else was on the floor. But you want to talk about a guy who fits the Bulls' DNA more than, I mean, he just defense. That's the first thing he talked about in all his interviews in the combine was what he can bring defensively. Which that's just Chicago all day. But I think he's going to be a really good player. He's going to be a good pro. I like to say. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to be in Cleveland. Or Garland. Yeah.
Talk about Garland.
Yeah, Garland. That's weird to me. That pick was weird. That situation's weird.
Yeah. Well, you're trying to find someone to. I mean, I guess they're trying to find someone to pair with Colin Sexton.
Yeah. So I guess. I mean, maybe Garland comes in and just is like something else. He's Kyrie ability, or he's something special, and then you kind of look at Sexton as an asset, but. I don't know. I don't really see those two playing on the floor together too well. I mean, who knows?
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A little cringy, a little hard to watch, a little bit like.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys really know what you're doing. You know. But I mean, I don't expect much from Colin Sexton in the first place anyway.
Yeah. I was never too high on him. I'm glad we didn't take him because he went the pick.
Right.
He went 8 last year.
I think he's a good player. I think he's a good scorer. I think he's going to keep becoming a better scorer. I think him and Garland are opposite scorers. I think Colin Sexton's explosive and Garland's like more smooth. But they are weird together. For sure.
Well, I think when GMs look at what Portland has with those two, the backcourt, I think it's really easy to think that's just something you can do. Like, oh, let's just get two undersized guys who can kind of play interchangeable almost. But those guys are special. That you don't get a Lillard and a McCollum like out of that's not some. That's
isn't that crazy how like the league has kind of turned into like the dynamic duo.
Love it.
League.
Love it.
Like it's like Kawhi just. I'm watching all these these like memes and what people are saying about Kawhi, how he's like cold blooded, and I saw a picture of it was Thanos with like cornrows, saying that Kawhi was restoring the league by by not going to team up with LeBron, which I'm very glad that didn't happen.
That would have made me sick.
Annoying. It would have been very annoying. What do y'all think? What do y'all think happens with the Warriors? Do you think that?
See, everyone's forgotten about them. Everyone has forgotten about the Warriors.
I think D'Angelo's a trade asset. That's my take from that. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think he's a Warrior like that.
Clay doesn't play, right? He just signed the big deal. He signed back there, but he doesn't play all next season.
Right.
Most likely. You never know with guys like that.
At least playoff time maybe.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah, he could be ready, and they very well could be a playoff team. I mean, I'm not counting them out.
Right.
I like the signings they had, bro. Willie Cauley-Stein's going to be a good fit.
Good, yeah.
Kevon Looney, bringing him back. I mean, you want to talk about a guy who really under the radar is like he's a serviceable big. Like that's the
good news, bro.
There.
Yeah.
That's the good news with them. You still got Steph, Clay, and Draymond to rebuild around. That's the same little core you built around when you had won previous championships and had the best record of all time.
That's what I'm gonna say. We're about to see how good Steph actually is.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do it alone if they get rid of D'Angelo.
This is the first season he's gonna have to be sort of like relatively by himself. He doesn't even have Clay to get that 20 points. Like Steph needs 30 a night.
Yeah, because there's no other scorer. Dude, you saw in that series when obviously you pay all these guys, have all these superstars, pay them all this money. It's hard to have depth, but when you saw when Clay and KD were gone, it was chase around Steph. There was. Yeah. I mean, they got lucky in that game that game 6 that Iguodala gave him 24 or whatever he did because he wasn't doing that before. And in that game, you could see how much it was like, if Steph's your only option. Just running around the 3-point line shit.
Even if Steph gives you 40, where are you getting
no points?
Like Draymond Green's not going to give you 20. He's not going to give you 15.
Inconsistent all the time. He'll give you 11, and 8 and 7 or something.
Right.
That's what Draymond's going to do.
And then if you don't think D'Angelo Russell's going to be there, then it's like. Let's just say since the team as is, okay, let's say he is going to be there. Even if he gives you 20, that's 60, that's what 77 points. Like that's like Willie Cauley-Stein going to give you 12 points.
Watch them alley-oops, bro.
Yeah, right.
I got so 3 things on the Warriors real quick. The way you defend Steph in the playoffs versus the way the regular season, the style of game, totally different. Steph's going to be fine.
Correct,
He's going to be filling it up. I mean, it's just a completely different game. That 94 feet of pressure is a different type of game for Steph.
Right.
I think one of my takes when D'Angelo and all that was going on was he's going to end up in Minnesota. I still think Minnesota's out here trying to make something happen. My question would be, We know Wiggins is, you probably calling him a bust at this point with your criteria, but we know Wiggins, they would love to get that contract off. I'm wondering if there's any way that Golden State sees some kind of like some way that'll work, with Steph and Clay. And then my last thing with them is really what's going to happen with Draymond. His contract's up after this year. Is he gonna come in? Because he looked really bad at points this past season. Then after the All-Star break, he lost 20 pounds and was back to being stuffing stat sheets and doing his thing. So if he comes out and he can be that guy where he's like, you can damn near run the offense through him when he's playing like that. As far as
with Draymond, when I don't know, when you take the heart out of something, you can have the biggest arms and the biggest legs and stuff, but when you take the heart out of something, it still doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
But in order to put that heart somewhere else, you still need to have the right blood type.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that Draymond is great for the Warriors.
Excellent analogy.
I can't really say that he's a max player for everyone, though.
No,
and
not at all.
I think that there are max players.
Yeah.
But I think that there are a lot of players that don't deserve max contracts.
No, Draymond's got to play somewhere where he's the guy that needs to step up and play defense. He's the guy that needs to set the screens and be rolling. He needs to play off guys playing off Clay and Steph's got to help your whole career.
Right. You got the greatest shooters to ever live.
Yeah,
right.
And
best shooters ever.
To speak to the blood type analogy is it's more like, where do you put that value at? Is it strictly a stat thing, or do you put the value in the relationships and the chemistry and the people around him and what he brings, to that team in general? So I do think he's going to stay there. I think they're going to sign him.
Yeah.
I don't know. They seem to be willing to shell it. I'll tell you what, one thing Golden State will do, they'll pay their guys and they'll retire your jersey as soon as you fucking leave, bro.
Yeah, they got you.
The
nothing.
second you leave.
Quinn Cook's getting this shit
wrong.
retired, bro.
Might as well. He played 12 minutes per game, so why not retire his jersey?
Andrew Bogut, man.
It's obvious who's going to win the championship, and that's wherever Patrick McCaw is playing basketball at.
Clearly, right? The last 3 years.
Wherever he's at, they're going to get it done. He's missed a three-peat.
So real quick, just give me. We were talking about this earlier. Is the Western Conference and the way things are kind of. So Westbrook's the last chip that may fall, because I think that move's going to happen. If not this offseason, before the All-Star break,
it's going to become a Nick, baby.
We're gonna. Wouldn't that be the most Nick thing ever, to give up every asset you have to get a 30-year-old guy who's losing it?
Dennis Smith Jr.
Who's never won anything.
Who
never really. Only has personal accolades, like like that. People were already talking about that, and I'm like, yo. So one thing about the Knicks and even the Nets. So this year without KD, I know we've seen the Nets make the playoffs last year with D'Angelo Russell averaging 21 points a game, and they were the 6th seed, and that was cool. And we've never seen Kyrie Irving take a team to the playoffs that wasn't already set. That wasn't already a team. You know what I'm saying? Like he went to the playoffs with the Celtics, but they went to the playoffs without him too.
And got further,
and got much further.
You know what I'm saying?
Looked
But
much better.
when you with the Cavaliers, you win in 20-something games with Kyrie. So but without Kevin Durant, can him and DeAndre Jordan carry the? I know it's the Eastern Conference and all that stuff, but they were only 6th last year. So and we know Kyrie's gonna miss 20 games this year.
Right.
So, that's just in his DNA.
Researching the flat Earth.
And with the Knicks, with the Knicks, I know it sounds crazy, and I'm not just trying to be a fan here, but Elfrid Payton, Dennis Smith Jr. Even though I don't like them, apparently, maybe I'm wrong. Hopefully, I'm wrong. If people are right about R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. That's a pretty good starting five that I wouldn't be mad about.
It's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of heart in that, and
exactly.
I like that.
Exactly. With Fizdale, he's gonna make you play hard.
Yeah.
And then to have I don't really like Frank Nitti, but have Frank Nitti coming off the bench with Trier and
Trier's a baller, man. He can score.
Yo, I wouldn't be mad if I wouldn't be surprised if the Knicks won 30 to 32 games or something like that. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's double the games we won last year. So
yeah. Wow.
It's gonna be closer than we think. And the Warriors or the Nets aren't just gonna run away with New York. Obviously, this year, when KD comes back, I won't be saying the same tune, but.
Right. But that team still has some. That team. Let's talk about that. What they got? Kyrie. They got a healthy Karis LeVert. Correct.
Right.
They've got. What's my big dog's name?
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen.
I
love him.
And he's gonna come off the bench for which is good for DeAndre Jordan. They got Taurean Prince. That's a good sign.
I don't even. They got him from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Was it a draft day trade or something?
It was before. It was early.
I think either
it was
that
like
or
when
he must have been a
Conley.
free agent. They didn't re-sign him or something like that.
He only been like drafted like 3 years ago, I reckon. But I don't even know why they loved the jump on the DeAndre Jordan thing. That must have been a friendship, a buddy thing.
No, they've been tight. Yeah,
because
DeAndre
I think Jared Allen brings more at this point.
That's a really tight knit group of friends in the NBA, and
well, they say because of the because the USA team.
Yeah,
that's big bodies, bro. Those 2 guys can block some shots.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if either of y'all watched DeAndre play last year, but boy, does that guy look like a shell of what he was, bro. He really does.
Yeah, I really didn't see him play much.
He got big paid, so maybe he's gonna be rejuvenated.
Where was he at?
He was in Dallas, and then he got traded to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Which that's what they said was his friendship with KD's gonna bring him. They use that as a ploy to bring.
And KD was like, "I'm the better friend."
Yeah.
So go play where I play. Like.
Well, see, people think that with all this collusion and all this stuff, clearly people can keep things quiet.
Right.
That's very clear that with this whole Kawhi Leonard and Paul George thing. I mean, I almost feel bad for Russell Westbrook and for the Thunder. They were kind of blindsided by that whole thing, where they were just like, shoot, we get a call and all of a sudden Paul George's agent is calling me demanding a trade. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
and for those assets,
he did get the most. He did get the most out of it, and it's funny how people are saying that the Lakers gave up way too much for AD, but no one's saying that the Thunder gave up too much. Or that the Clippers gave up too much for Paul George. They gave up way more.
They did and they didn't, right?
Well, I think the way that the general public sees that is what the Lakers gave up was more tangible. They're players with faces. I don't think people look at that's a record amount of draft picks to be moved.
Right, but how many of those will be better than 25?
I don't think any. As long as those 2 guys are there, I don't think they'll all be.
But that's also the thing too. People are. Are Brandon Ingram and Lonzo Ball good? I mean, I know that they're good, but these same people that are saying that
I think both those players are gonna.
They're really good.
Turn up.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lonzo led the league in assists this year.
Bro, Lonzo is great
real,
at every.
Lonzo.
When I watch him, I think personally he's actually very good at every aspect of basketball except for his jump shot, and his scoring's a little inconsistent. But other than that, his passing, his defense, his floor vision,
his size,
and
just I think his intangibles, really, and I think he's a good kid, man. I think his dad kind of soured his image, and just the fact he raps, all that little stuff he does. But man, we
people forget he's a kid. He's still a kid. He's 20.
Yeah, and we wanted him in Chicago. Me and my brother wanted him, man. Yeah. When that talk was going on, we were fully get Lonzo because we just felt he fit perfectly.
6'7", plays defense. I mean, he had the Lakers at top 5 defense before he got
we needed the defense and we needed the passing, man. He's a great facilitator. So I mean, that team with all those guys, I mean, they're gonna be fun to watch. I mean, just Lonzo and
a couple
Ingram
of those vets they signed too, man. I like Favors over there.
Yeah,
they got
right.
JJ Redick.
There's literally everywhere you turn. This is about to be the best. First of all, this is definitely the best offseason we've ever seen.
For sure.
And then, this is probably about to be the best season.
In a long time.
Yeah, everything's spread out and competitive.
I mean, I'm excited to see Dallas, with Doncic and Porzingis.
Yeah.
And
they got some good players. They got DeLon Wright from the Grizzlies, right?
Just happened tonight.
I like that.
Hey, I tell you what, my Grizz, I love what they're doing, man.
John Morant, Jaren Jackson,
that right there. That's if I'm building a team, man,
lucky.
I feel really 100% lucky to get that second pick.
That pick. That really brightened the future.
Yeah, but Memphis, I mean,
and then,
they've acquired.
You guys got a lot for Mike Conley.
Yeah, no, they've acquired a lot of assets, and Brandon Clark was the guy on draft night that I was like, how is this dude falling, man? And I was just watching the board, being like, when did the Bulls pick? Somebody's got to get this kid. And it turned out the Grizz traded up 2 picks to get him, and he's gonna be. I mean, I like that kid a lot, man.
What was that
I'm
trade?
excited to see them.
What?
The Conley trade. I think you got
I mean, we got their pick this year. That first round.
You got the dude from Duke, right? The scoring kid trips people. Grayson Allen
and Jay Crowder, who's my guy.
Right.
But yeah, just as far as
he's a dog. He's another piece. Too,
he fits in with Memphis, man. He fits in with Memphis, so that's fun.
Who wins more games next year, the Memphis Grizzlies, or the New York Knicks?
I'll probably say the Knicks. I'll probably say the Knicks.
Like who? Well, yeah, I would say the Knicks in the Eastern Conference.
Because let me tell you what I like. If there's one thing that the Knicks have solidified, it's Fizdale. The Grizz don't have. We had Fizdale, ironically, but they don't have like something that makes me feel like, okay, they're gonna at least have, that's gonna get them 15 wins just off the muscle of structure and what they're gonna have.
Right.
Yeah. So
no, I mean, coaching is so underrated. It's
extremely underrated, dude. You look at the NFL and it's like coaches are, that's a coach's league. That's a GM's league. Right. So it's more understandable. But dude, in the NBA, with the personalities, with the way you gotta run your unit, you know what I'm saying? It's
all
really,
about the players,
dude. It's very undervalued as coaching, man. How you?
Well, I mean, I guess they have a good, argument because, when you have people like Steve Kerr come in and win their first year, and you have Nick Nurse come in and win their first year, where you're thinking that, oh, okay, well, coaching doesn't matter, but like. It really, I mean, and the Raptors fired the coach of the year for Nick Nurse. Yeah. So it's like, it's and then I remember George Karl getting fired when he was one coach of the year.
Yeah.
It's just hard to.
Yeah, it happens.
You could be the best coach and get fired.
Yeah. The Raptors, 40 wins.
The Raptors, they're about
to
fall off a cliff.
Yeah, the Raptors. I mean, hey, Toronto, man, it's about time to break out the Maple Leaf jerseys again because I don't think.
What do you think on that? 40 above or below for the Raptors?
40 wins. Oof.
Nah, I mean,
I think they'll be. I think they'll be hovering around like 37, 38.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, Pascal and Lowry.
Yeah, and Marc Gasol is still there, and they got
OG,
Fred VanVleet.
OG Anunoby could be the guy to step up. But you know who I'm really interested in is, like you said, Pascal, bro. I want to see just how good he can be.
Well, the fact that wouldn't Jury wouldn't trade because they had PG and Russ on the table for a trade package that was involving Pascal Siakam and.
And that would have kept Kawhi.
I don't think I believe that, but I know it was reported. But I don't.
Right. Okay. Word. Yeah. It was definitely reported. So yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll believe that either with both of them, with trading both of them. I mean, it had to been a pretty ridiculous package, but like it is very clear to me that no one wants Russell Westbrook.
I know, man.
He doesn't fit anywhere.
We were just talking about that.
I was saying he could be
a
good Spur. If that worked out with their team layout.
You know where he would be great? I think he would be really good in Detroit.
Yeah.
Over D Rose now out there?
Well, they're buddies. They used to train together, man. Those two have been close since they were.
I mean, Russell Westbrook go run with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan. Throw your lobs and be the only wing scorer.
And in the East,
Detroit was pretty close to being a playoff.
Just lob to DeAndre, huh?
Yeah. No, I agree. But I think as far as what you're getting back, I don't know what the hell Detroit's got to bring to the table for that kind of move. I mean,
that move. Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I feel like the Heat are just ballsy enough and almost borderline drunk with the way they kind of run their team to where Pat's just gonna be like, hey, let's do it. Let's shake it up a little bit. So
he's gonna end up in Miami, I think, but I think he should be a Spur personally.
I think.
I can see that.
A place like that with a Popovich.
You just know wherever he goes is gonna stifle whatever you're doing. You have to stop right now. And make
bro.
It Russell Westbrook team.
We saw a report with the Bulls. Would they be interested, man? And I'm hexing that. I don't want nothing to do with that.
It was I saw.
I mean, I don't even want him on the Knicks like that. But that's definitely a move that the Knicks would make. I hear people, let's trade Mitchell Robinson. So you want to trade our only assets that doesn't make any sense to me. Let's just stay bad. We're already bad. We're already used to being bad. Let's stay
let's
bad.
Just vibe with this for a second.
Comes around.
Who knows? So give me your rankings in the West just off top. So give me the top 3 teams in the West.
I think you got to say the Clippers are the best team in the league. I think they're the best team in the league.
I agree.
But that's incredible. Who's bringing the ball up against them?
Dude, you want to talk about defense, bro?
Cross half court,
I love defensive play, bro. It's a Chicago thing.
Championships, right?
Yeah, bro. And when you got dogs like that, man, Kawhi and PG are probably the top 2 guys on the wing. That, as far as I mean, and then you add Pat Bev to the dude.
Montrezl Harrell.
It's just. Oh, dude, that team's gonna. I'm definitely looking forward.
And
to
with
seeing
Doc
it.
Rivers,
they got your boy Shamit.
I really hope Doc brings Thibodeau. I really hope Doc brings Thibodeau to the staff, man. Reunite over there. I would love that. But
that would be sick. What do you think about that? That whole thing with like Paul George and Doc Rivers' daughter or something like that.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like I saw someone say, so Paul George used to date Doc Rivers' daughter, and he cheated on her with a stripper in Miami, and so their relationship was sour, obviously. But I saw someone make a good point. They say, they said Doc Rivers traded his own son. What the fuck?
Yeah.
He can clearly separate business and personal. So
right. He wants to win basketball games, right?
Yeah, so. I think it'll be all right once PG's out there doing what PG does. Being top 2 in steals and filling it up and doing.
He may call him a hooker. He might call him one himself.
But I don't know. Like that's what I was gonna say. Like then there's like the very small, tiny details where it's like, is he gonna drop this last play for Paul George when he's been on fire all game, or like
you're gonna
is
set
he
him in
gonna
the
drop
corner
for Kawhi Leonard? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Where it's like, you be the decoy, and like, did we just have like, did I just invite you over for dinner last night, and then my daughter walked in and saw you, and it was like a bad experience, real quick, like an awkward little moment, and now we got to play a game the next day. These are little things that people don't really take into consideration. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they all humans, bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like that scene in Ricky Bobby where Cal's like, what if one time I get to finish first? And he's like, well, if you do that, then how am I gonna?
Yeah, then I can't win. No, I mean that's the thing that made Toronto gel so well is it's like they had a lot of good pieces, but at the end of the day, everyone knew who the guy was that was getting the ball in that moment. There's never a second guess. A lot of times when you get too many people on the team, it's not clear. It's like a weird ego. People just shoot because they're like, nah, I'm the man. This is my shot.
I think it's interesting that Kawhi Leonard knew. He was like, I want to play with Paul George. Like, and then you think of like these two players like demeanor. Like Paul George is a very chill, quiet kind of guy. And I was like, maybe they should go get LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan, and they can go practice at the local library.
Yeah.
Right. And then also
really
get D-Rose too. Get D-Rose in there.
With those two, man, it's like they're both Cali kids. They both went to pretty small schools. You know what I'm saying? As far as
and really humble dudes, just chill.
Yeah, and I was telling bro, we were talking about this earlier, but. So when you look at the Bulls dynasty, obviously it's Mike and Scottie, and what made that tandem so dangerous and kind of different from other dynasty setups is you had two wing players who were damn near interchangeable, who both were lockdown defenders. They were just dogs, and then they get on that fast break, and it was a wrap. I think this Clipper thing has that potential, man. I know that both those guys, Paul George has a freaking pole in his leg and several surgeries. We don't know how bad that rotator cuff was last year. It looked like it changed the entire projection of the Thunder. But and Kawhi also.
He got surgery, so I mean.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, is this the new Jordan and Pippen? Like,
I feel like as far as fits go, it's my favorite of two superstars playing together of the last 10 years. Yeah, I mean it's just exciting. I love the parity. I love the fact that we got so many teams. So let's not stray too far from the question. Who's your number 2 team out west?
Number 2 team out west got to be the Lakers.
Going with the Lake Show.
Yeah, go with the Lake Show. Both the top 2 teams in the West are in LA.
Boy, those are going to be some fun games, dude.
That's got to be incredible. I mean, think of the stars that So also one thing that I don't want to see is like all these like people that are saying that they're Clipper fans.
No,
I definitely don't want to hear that.
You wasn't there with Darius Miles, bro.
You wasn't shooting in the gym, that's for sure.
You wasn't there with the boy.
Jordan Farmar.
You wasn't there when Lamar Odom when Lamar Odom was on the break. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can't have that.
But
you ain't had a headband on with the braids.
But I do think this Clipper team, is so much more likable than that Chris Paul Blake team. That team was easy to not like, and this is the total opposite to me. It's kind
because they're gonna play defense. They're just dogs. They're just trying to win.
Yeah, bro.
Like we're not trying to be in the spotlight. We're not trying to talk. We're not trying to update our Twitter feeds. We're trying to win these basketball games. And then like you got freaking Pat Beverly, who just is like the annoying kid that like you get to just you put on your team to just guard everybody.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And it's just like he's just gonna kind of just pester you all game. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be surprised if they're picking people up from 94 feet.
Yeah.
Like, you
just
you
to
call
make a
for
statement,
screen
on the 22nd game of the season, they're just like in December.
Who's number 3?
Let's see. I don't want to put them this high because I think that they've kind of fallen off. But
Houston,
I would say Golden State is better than Houston. Houston, to me, it doesn't matter just your collection of talent. Like, Chris Paul doesn't want to be there. James Harden doesn't want him to be there.
It's awkward.
And Mike D'Antoni is not a good coach. Like, he's just not.
Mike D'Antoni gets job after job after job after job.
Yeah.
It's just the second he gets fired, he's just working again.
Mark Jackson's blackballed, man.
Yeah,
but he works for the.
You see what Iggy said, man. That was a weird interview to happen on the Breakfast Club in general. But him just saying, I
kind of like that he would tell the truth though.
Yeah, no, I believe him, man. He said he thinks he's blackballed because of how he feels about traditional like Christian values and the fact he's not like hey, you can marry whoever you want or you can identify as whatever. He won't. He was kind of pointing at that as why the league doesn't want him in it. But
who did he say?
Who?
Oh, you said the Warriors. See, I think Utah.
Yeah, I'm big on Utah.
I was gonna say Utah's after them. We just don't know how it's gonna work out yet.
Right, but I think Denver at this point is better than Golden State. If it's just Steph and Draymond, maybe I don't know how that works. Even
who knows
D'Angelo.
The D'Angelo thing's just weird.
It's
right
up
now.
in the air, but I do think Houston.
I think they're gonna.
They made no moves, right?
Houston's falling off.
Houston made no moves, right?
They're strapped. Yeah, they had no.
But I'm saying nothing changed about their team.
They lost guys. I think. Did they lose Daniel House? I don't know, but nothing significant really.
But
yeah.
That team is still.
Yeah, actually,
a threat.
I'd rather go Denver than.
Yeah, I like Denver. I'm personally putting Denver in that 3 spot for me. The same 1, 2, 3.
Are you really ready to put Utah over Portland?
Yeah.
Like they just got Hassan Whiteside.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's gonna be a cool thing to watch because Hassan Whiteside has been just buns for a minute, like a lot of potential, but the guy he's not been all there.
You watch him, you're like, why aren't you doing more?
Skewed, but remember, I think that's been skewed just because Eric Spoelstra and him don't have a good relationship.
Yeah, no, he's definitely been disgruntled for more than 3 seasons. He's been so and he has a good
since he got the money.
Yeah, and he has a really good relationship with Dame, bro. Like when they went out when Miami played in Portland, he stayed at Dame's house. Like they're tight. Like they have a friendship.
Oh, word.
Imagine being friends with Hassan Whiteside like that.
Just playing basketball, I mean, so
goofy.
But
I do wonder how that's gonna work when Nurkic comes back. I wonder if there's
a lot of size. They went from no size in the playoffs, which is what killed them. Also, not being able to play perimeter defense versus Clay and Steph.
They said we're not going to see that happen again with the size. We're going to double down.
They did get bigger.
I'm just glad they got. I don't understand how people like Mo Harkless stay in the league.
I mean, I can see how he stays in the league. He's overpaid.
Like
Mo.
He is overpaid.
What is he used for?
Defense.
He's a defensive player, a hustle guy. He's an athletic dude.
He was definitely too hyped up coming out because he was kind of like he made a lot of noise coming out of high school. Like he was supposed to be something serious.
But he does. He does a lot of things. He can't really shoot, but he can hit an open 3. I've seen it here and there. He's athletic. He plays defense, but he does make a lot of money.
He's like a perfect guy that Portland would pay too much money for.
Shout out Allen Crabbe.
And the reason why I got him at 3 is because, dude, in terms of a regular season, now I don't know how to go in the playoffs, but those 82 games, they have the structure, they have the coaching, and now they kind of filled up, they kind of shored up some things. Like I think we'll fuck around and see Jeff Green be like a valuable bench player and all these little.
He's in Utah. Has he been in Utah?
No, they signed him. They made a lot of moves.
Where was he at last year?
They signed it. Yeah, Utah got it because they had to,
Where was Jeff Green last year?
Favors.
I don't know where.
Was he a Cavalier?
Wait, Jeff Green?
Yeah.
Where was he last year?
Yeah.
I think he was with the Wizards.
Oh,
yeah, he was a Wizard. Yeah.
Damn, what a sad place that is, man.
People go there and they just forget about you. Just clouded by the fact that John Wall's never going to play
Washington,
basketball again.
Detroit, and Cleveland, bro. Those are 3 places you don't want to find your career in.
Right. Like, it doesn't matter how much money you got. It's like those places are just not – you don't want to go there.
I mean, shit. Ask
like,
Gilbert.
You could be a multimillionaire, but what does that mean if you're in Cleveland?
Like, who wants to go to Cleveland?
Yeah.
Right.
All right, so we're going to end it on this. I'm going to give you a quick buzz round. You could just answer off impulse. I'm not going to hold you to nothing, although you are being recorded right now, so we'll bring it back.
I'm about to say it's on wax. That's all right. I'm ready.
Real quick, man. NBA champs, go.
NBA champs, the Los Angeles Clippers.
Clippers, rookie of the year.
Oh, Zion. That's locked up, yeah.
It's locked up? No Barrett?
No, RJ Barrett. I'm telling you, he's gonna.
I think it's Ja Morant.
Ja.
Yeah,
he could put up numbers.
I think Ja's gonna be that guy that's gonna be really good, but's not gonna get a lot of love because there's everybody that he's competing with are point guards. You know what I'm saying? You got Russ, Kyrie, Dame. Like you got so many point guards.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna just kind of fall off. So, he's gonna play well. But
okay. And
I think Zion's hype is too ridiculous.
Yeah, the last one I want to know who wins the East. It's pretty much a two team contest.
What two teams?
Milwaukee and Philly. I can't see a third one being in there.
I got Philly because Milwaukee lost Malcolm Brogdon.
Big loss, yeah.
Yeah,
I do. You know what? Right, as a very poor man's compensation, I've always been a Wes Matthews guy, and I like the fact that at least if you got to lose Brogdon, at least you got somebody there
but he's just not going to give you the offensive, side that Brogdon's going to give you.
45 from I mean, he was damn near 50, 90.
So you don't like Boston? Boston's not 3?
No, I mean. They could be 3, but I think it's a 2-team race. I don't think Boston's at that level. I mean, I like Kemba a lot. I think they're going to play better.
You think Boston's any more of?
We thought Boston was like one of the best teams in the East without Kyrie.
Yeah.
And then Kyrie came, and
now it's just fucked. Yeah.
But
you know
now,
what I'm saying?
Now they got
nothing really changed. They lost Horford, obviously, but
Horford,
they got Cantor.
Horford's replacing Horford with Cantor is insane. That's putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound as far as like what that does to the defense and what that does to just the functionality of the offense. But
I like Kemba more than Kyrie though.
I do too. I just think he's a better guy.
Yeah,
he's a better leader.
Right. He's not a diva. He's just there to play basketball.
And he's never been on a good team, bro. Yeah. Tell me the best teammate he's had in the NBA. And tell me why it's like Cody Zeller or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, realistically,
like Jeremy Lamb, like who? I mean, Batum.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sitting here thinking, and
that's Michael Jordan, right? That's he's putting the right pieces around him.
I'm just glad he's not the Bulls running the show in Chicago.
I can't even tell you who would be the best player that ever played with Kemba.
It'd probably be Batum or Al Jefferson at the end. There was, he was a beast.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah.
That's not the highest. But
I don't like what you're diving in.
But
here,
I mean,
dude.
I do like Boston's what they're made of as far as Tatum. As far as
I really like Tatum. I think we're about to really see what he's made of.
Yeah, big bounce back season for him.
Yeah, and he's not going to really have Hayward in his way actually because he might be playing on the same, like they might be in the starting lineup now.
I do think Boston. You know what? I think Indiana's that silent one, dude. If Oladipo can come back and be healthy with Brogdon, Oladipo, T.J. Warren,
they signed T.J. Warren.
Yeah, and those two big
Miles
dogs.
Turner's
yeah,
gonna have
bro.
another year.
Yeah,
we got Thaddeus though.
They let him go. Where did he go? He went to the
Chicago,
Bulls, right?
baby. Yeah, we love that. Yeah. I got my jersey in the mail right now.
We got him in Satoransky.
Word.
Yeah,
and I like Satoransky.
Low key, really good pickup.
Yeah, he was Washington's backup.
Yeah, I like him. I think the Bulls could be a low seed in the East personally.
I got to make it the playoffs, but that's bias. So
I think they could be a 6 or 7 seed. I mean, they got Zach
if
and
Zach
Lowry.
LaVine stays healthy.
Yeah, and Lowry.
I could see it.
No, if the team, we haven't been healthy.
You got Otto Porter.
Otto Porter, yeah. So you're running out there with Satoransky, with Kobe White coming off the bench probably, and then whatever happens with Chris Dunn, I don't know. But then you got Zach LaVine, and then you got Otto Porter, Larry Markkinen, and Wendell Carter Jr. I like
my guy Daniel Gafford.
Didn't Wendell Carter just have surgery?
Yeah, they said he'd be ready for minicamp. But I like Gafford too, bro. That man plays like a dog.
Yeah. I'm happy with the way the Bulls thing went. So sort of like you are with the Knicks. At least we didn't overcommit or pay Terry Rozier because that was a thing for a minute, and I was like, do not do that.
$58 million. I'm like, can we just see if he just can play yet, dude? Can we just hold on?
Put it like this, bro. They just committed more money to Terry Rozier than Kemba Walker ever got from them in his entire career. And that's nuts.
Wow.
That's nuts. But, it is what it is, man. Like I said, I think I like Indiana to be that third. But who knows? It won't be the Wizards.
They'll still be it. Yeah, no, it definitely won't be the Wizards. I think Indiana will still make the playoffs.
Real quick, I want to end on this note, bro. How fucking stupid were those comparisons Chauncey Billups kept throwing up during the draft? Dude, did you see when he said Rui Hachimura is young Kawhi Leonard?
Like, I don't understand how you can think these players are
why would you
players yet.
Yeah, that's insane to
they
say.
said RJ Barrett was James Harden.
That's insane. Why are they doing that? Like
someone needs to check Chauncey.
Yeah, they need to kind of run that through the fucking, the gauntlet
greats,
and be like, let's change it up.
The metaphorical greats.
I don't know. These are the people that are getting paid to give their opinion.
That's true.
But they played in the league.
So here we are giving it out for free.
I didn't like the comparisons at all. Yeah, no, definitely not. Like, I honestly think this was a pretty weak draft. I think we're gonna look back at this draft and be like, there weren't many players. We're gonna remember.
There could be a few, man. There could be a few that pop out. Like I tell you what,
tell
you what. You know who's kind of like a sleeper? Who I was shocked how low he went was the kid who Boston took at the end of the first round, Langford. From
that kid can flat out score, and he's like a flashy scorer, man. I like how he plays.
And he played the whole year with like a broken thumb, so he shot really bad in college. But he, there was that. I think he could be something. The Porter Jr. kid is also like a really good athlete.
That's my guy, Kevin Porter.
Yeah, he's a good
from
player.
USC. That's who I was thinking of when you said it. I like Romeo Langford, but Kevin Porter Jr. is like a scoring machine, bro. Like when I watch him
I think we should watch out for Jordan Poole.
I know, man. Golden State. Yeah, I like him too. Yeah, I like him.
He's gonna be nice. I think, and maybe I might be a little biased, but I think he showed himself at LSU. But Tremont Waters, he went to Boston. He's from New Haven, actually. It's from where I'm from. Yeah. So like it was like,
you got to rep that.
We love him here. It's pretty cool to see him go so far here. Yeah. But I think he could be a pretty good backup to Kemba. Like very undersized, but
another Boston draft pick that I like is I'm in Tennessee, so I watched that team a lot this year. Grant Williams, I think he's gonna be interesting. Admiral Schofield too. Really, the three guys that got drafted.
What year was he? What year was Schofield?
Dude, Schofield was like a 12th year senior, bro. He's like a grown ass man.
That's what I was gonna say. Tennessee is really good at like keeping their players. Having
bro. We pay good. What you mean?
Schofield developed.
Yeah,
we pay good, brother. What you mean?
Yeah.
Bruce Pearl got offshore accounts still that we ain't closed out from when he was there.
Yeah, but those players know that they can just go overseas. There's a reason they still go to college. Yeah, they know. So
yeah. Well, I tell you what, man. We're gonna wrap this thing up, man. I appreciate you calling. We'll do it again soon.
For sure.
Absolutely. Always fun. Thank you guys for having me on.
For sure, man. If you want to plug anything you've got going on at any podcast action or music, feel free.
Oh yeah, always. I got an album coming out. High Definition, got an album coming out in October. It's called the 10-8 EP. 1080p.
What I gotta do to get on that, man?
Oh, I mean, you want it.
Is that the track?
That's it.
Is that the track you sent?
You and Clue.
That track you sent the album?
I'm blessed. Yes, sir. That's on the album.
Done deal, man.
I feel blessed to have you guys up there, man. I'm like, what? I get a feature from Scholar and Clue. I'm blessed. Definitely.
Done deal. We're gonna make it happen.
I got my podcast, Inside the Box Sports, and I'll be dropping that every Wednesday. So man, I'm out here.
All right, bro. Well, man, we're gonna be up with you, bro.
All right, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right,
you got it.
All right, peace.
Good deal. Good to hear from HD.
Yes,
glad he's all right with the way the New York thing went. I would feel the same way.
And he's all right with it, with a very unoptimistic outlook on the biggest piece of the whole thing, which is RJ Barrett. Yeah. So that's optimism at its absolute finest.
No, I mean, he's just basically like happy that they didn't just fuck their future away. Yeah. But be that as it may, we're gonna hop off of here.
Yep.
We're gonna give a quick shout out to Rogue Energy,
always
as a sponsor for the Higher Society Network. Content's gonna be coming. Check out the gear. What, you getting too much sun on your bald head there, buddy? How about you get you a Higher Society hat? You know what I'm saying? You got to know somebody to know somebody. If you like Javon Curse, bobble his head a little bit. You know what I mean? He was nasty with the swim move. Kevin Dyson, yard short. That's a strange person. We need a Steve McNair, rest in peace to the G.
Yeah.
But Kevin Dyson is a very strange person to have right there. But we love him anyway. So. Till next time, content's coming.
Chicken
Bones Jones, I am. Samurai Sammy.
A.K.A. the Grinch on the Park Bench. Right.
All that. Peace, love, tranquility, prosperity. We'll catch you sooner than later. Peace.
Ghost.
Thank you for Jesus.
shit. I got some tunes at the end.
Look. My mama said that she proud of me. I'm proud of me too. The devil won't get the best out of me. That's undoubtedly true. Ooh, holy water in my view. Ooh, I need to drown in the truth. Ooh, I went to sleep in a creek by the river, then woke up inside of the fountain of youth. This is easy when it's God-given. Peak graffiti in the hall with them. Peace treaty to what y'all spitting. It ain't my fault, they got fraud in them. Fraudulent, beg your pardon them. You are not winning when the heart's missing. Is it authentic? If it's not, listen, I don't think I'll ever get along with them. Picture me back in 09. Pen in my pad, no cosign. Sitting in the back of the classroom. Beat in my head, I would rap too. See, we took the long way, but I promise we all straight. And we took the alternate route, the one that was lost and forgotten about. I used to think I was stressed, I used to feel like a failure. Turns out I'm blessed, it turns out I'm highly favored. I used to think I was stressed, I used to feel like a failure. Turns out I'm blessed, it turns out I'm highly I used to feel like a failure. I used to highly favored. I used to feel like a failure. I used to highly favored. Let me rep those times. I ain't have a dollar to invest in mine. No check to collect and a debt so high. And my pride on E like a petrol sign. Let's go blind. Blind to the fact I spit a rap even with a knife in my back. I get it back. I don't got time to relax. Criticize from the side looking ass. But even y'all support me. Every Joe needs a Marlon Rory. Put the past behind me and the squad before me. Then I start the story giving God the glory. Prayer sung in a native tongue. The lane I'm in is a creative one. The path I walk is a patient one. I'm reminded often where I made it from. The devil fought and did a lot to stop me. Would've quit if it was not for Donnie. We were in the attic, he was tightening melodies, which would inspire the recipe. I would get high off the energy, double serving on my plate now. Highly favored from the highest places. I can finally say I'm on my way now.